Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm going to show you some easy leaf canes, and we're going to get right to it. We're going to start out with a Skinner blend, and I've made several plugs. These are plugs, and you can see I started with a Skinner blend on each one of these. So I do have a video showing how to make Skinner blends. And you can go back and look for that, but I will just briefly show you how I do it. I take the two ends and I go corner to corner, and then I turn those over, and in the middle there's several ways to make a Skinner blend. This is just how I do it. And I just kind of squeeze them together. And I am going to, this is double thickness, I'm going to run it through the pasta machine on the thickest setting, and I'll be right back. Okay, and you get something like this. From here, every time, I'm going to have to run this through probably 15 or 20 times on the thickest setting. And each time I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to put the fold along my roller. Every time, always put color to color. Do not run it through that way. You'll end up with something you can't use. It will be a nightmare. Make sure you have the dark blue with the dark blue and the light blue with the light blue, and put your fold along the rollers. And I'll be right back. Okay, and I only had to put this through 10 times. 10. I don't think I've ever had a blend come up that quick. I could have used more white, but that's okay. Now from here, I'm going to fold it in half. And I want to get a long, thin strip. This is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is almost 6 inches long. I want to get it as long and thin as I can. So I'm going to run it through, and each time I run it through, I'm going to turn my dial on my machine and dial it down a notch so the rollers will get closer together as I go. And this machine is so loud, so I'm going to pause it while I do that. I don't know if I explained that well enough. Each time I put it through, it doesn't matter which end you start with, but you want to, when you're making the blend, you want it to go this way, of course. But when you're trying to get a long strip, just start from the same end every time and put it through the machine, dialing down your rollers thinner and thinner until you can't go anymore. Now, you don't want to tear your clay, so you'll get to learn your pasta machine, and some machines are better than others. And I can't go to my thinnest setting, but I can get pretty close. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, I have about a 20-inch strip. Now you have to decide if you want the middle to, if you want to start with your darkest or your lightest. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. And I think I'm going to start with the lightest, and I want that to be my center. And all we're going to do is roll this up, making a jelly roll. And I am going to gently but firmly roll this, and you don't want air bubbles or air pockets left in it. So it's good to get it tight when you're first starting out. You want this roll to be tight. And I always try to keep the ends tucked in. And I'm pushing and rolling and pushing and pushing and rolling. And all you want to do is get this to roll up, trying to avoid any big gaps so you don't end up with big air pockets. There goes my blade. I'm getting stuck over here. Let me show you. You can kind of see right here I had an air pocket. See that dark line? I don't know if you can see it. There's just ever so slightly, which won't matter because you can always just push your clay back together wherever you have an air pocket. Okay, so these blues are so pretty. And I'm just going to continue to roll it till the end, and that's what you end up with. Now I am going to squeeze it from the middle, and I'm also going to push down on either end. I'm trying to just squeeze out any air pockets that might be in there. And there's your plug. Now, I usually don't cut my plugs in half, but I end up, if I don't cut them in half, I end up with the biggest leaf, like I end up with too much of one color of leaf, like if this was all just one and the same color leaf, because I'm going to use different colors on the ends for the veins, I would just end up with too much of the same. So I decided to cut these in half. And believe me, I will end up with plenty. Let me show you a few leaf canes that I have in here. Well, here's one. There's one I made. I have a ton in here. I'm just trying to find them all. I mean, look at all these canes. That's a lot of canes, you guys. There's one down there. There's one right there. There's one right there. I mean, you can see them here and there. Anyway, I don't want to end up with a bunch of the same kind. So I have these cut in half. So let me start with the blue. And after you get, you know what? I'm going to not start with the blue because the clay is really soft. And I'm going to start with the green because it's been sitting for a little while. Okay, from here, we are going to make the veins. So I'm going to make three cuts all the way through. And in between each one of these, I'm going to put a different color. Let's see. How about, do I want red? That might work good. I have more red right here. This is a little thick. I'm going to run, this is the thickest, run through on the thickest setting. I'm going to dial it down just a little bit and just thin it out a tiny bit. Okay, I didn't take it down much, but now you want to keep these in order. But all you want to do is we're going to put red in between everywhere that I made a cut. And it's so easy. Okay. There's one. I'm out of camera range way over here. Oh, I'm sorry about that. And here's the next one. And you don't have to be exact. I mean, I always say that polymer clay is very forgiving. So sometimes if you have to piece stuff together, it's okay. Okay, my last one. My last one. Oops, I got a little green on the red. Okay. And, oopsie. That looks pretty good. That's sticking out a little bit. That's okay. And I'm just going to push this back together. Kind of try to round it up. It's a little oval. I'm going to try to make it a little round again. And now we want to slice this at an angle like so. And this is where we're going to put it back together. See what I did? Turn one of them over. But we need a vein going down the middle, right? So let me show you what I do. Now, you know stems are always thicker at the bottom. So I want my stem to be thicker at the bottom. Therefore, this is how I do it. I like double it up. And all I need to do is put one. I double up the clay, just part, see that's doubled. Now I want to okay. Now that looks a little funny. You can see I really don't want there to be a big step, so I'm just going to kind of push it down so it'll be more of a slope than a big step down in thickness. So okay, it's thicker and it's going to get thinner as it goes down, right? Just kind of have to play with it this way. And you don't have to do this. You can just keep it all one thickness. Most people do not take the extra time to make their stem thicker at the bottom. And I'm just going to put these back together. And voila, there we go. Now this needs to be covered. If I want to cover it in red, I'm going to put a piece all the way around it. How about we use, do I want red around it? How about orange or yellow? Wrap it in maybe orange or yellow. Let me see. Yellow, orange. I think yellow. I'm going to go for yellow. I'm going to run this through and thin it out a little. It's on the thickest setting, and that's just too much. It's not much thinner, but it's a little bit thinner. And there's no way this is going to go around. I'm going to have to run this through one more time. Make a longer strip so it will go all the way around. And let me trim off these raggy, oops, the raggy edges. Just get easier on myself. Oops. Start out with a straight on the ends. And cut a strip the right width. That way I won't be messing with a whole bunch of extra clay. And I do want to leave a registration mark. This is going to help me when I'm reducing. It's going to help me keep my lines straight. I've showed registration marks before when I made flower canes. It's just a way to help you keep things from getting twisted and wonky while you are reducing. So put that little piece of red clay. And I'm going to wrap around right to that red clay, and I am going to reduce this. And you do not have to necessarily keep it in the leaf shape while you're reducing. As a matter of fact, I kind of let it go back in a circle, because after you reduce it, you can shape your leaf however you want. So I'm just going to work squeezing and pulling and squeezing and pulling, just reducing. And there's no reason to do this on camera because it's like watching paint dry. But as you see, it goes pretty fast. I'm trying to keep my my ends a little in check, so I don't end up with a lot of distortion. And see, I want to keep that line straight, so my stem is going straight. You know what I mean? So I'm going to reduce off camera and I will be back. Okay, my ends got a little wonky. I'm going to cut this off. I want to see what's going on in here. Okay, you see it's kind of turned to a square. I'm going to start trying to shape it more like a leaf now. I'm going to leave the one side wonky or else I will end up with a lot of, and see my registration mark is staying pretty much straight. That just helps to guide me. Otherwise, I could be twisting it and not even knowing it. So I'm going to try to round off these corners right here. Try to make it more leaf shaped. And have some more reducing to do. Just twisting and pulling and twisting and pulling. I'm going to see if I can't get this to be more of a circle. That way I'll be able to get my leaf shape a little easier. And my registration mark's looking good. Twisting, pulling, twisting, pulling. And I'm getting close. I don't want to make it too small to begin with. And there is a nice leaf cane. I hardly ever use my leaves this big. I will reduce this, and I like to make little pods and make pod earrings and pod beads. They look like little artichokes. So I will take this down to probably a third, half an inch. It's a little more than half an inch right now, but this is good for now. Now the next one I'm going to show you, keep your ends because we can make beautiful Natasha beads out of those. I'm just trying to get my clay that I didn't use. I want to keep the red with the red and the yellow with the yellow. Let me get it out of the way over here. And I'm going to run these through because I think I might need to use the yellow again. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to let that one rest for a few minutes. And I'm going to try this blue next. Oops. Hold on. I'm trying to move something. I have a basket under my desk that I keep conditioned clay and along with a few other things. And I had a smaller basket on top that had beads and who knows what else in there. Well, it fell off the back. And I have not stopped and looked to see the mess yet. But anyway, it was in the way of my feet, but I can't do anything about it right now. So, okay, blue, 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 blue. On the color wheel, the complement color for blue is orange. So I'm going to use orange, but I'm going to do it a little bit different this time, and you will see what I mean as I go. So let me cut into this. Now on this last one I did, you can't really tell on this end, but I went up a little high, and I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to try to place my cuts a little more careful this time. So instead of going in the center, I think I'll go a little off, a little down from center. Okay, that'd be about center. Just move it a little bit, not too much. Oh, I'm terrible at judging center, off center. Well, that was off center, that's for sure. My line's a little crooked, but that's okay. Let me see. Trying to keep the blade as straight as I can also. Which isn't always easy for me to do. And I'm going to turn it over and check the other side. Oh, it's a little harder to tell where the cuts are. Ooh, that doesn't look good. No, 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 no. Now, oh, look what I did. Look at how that cut went. That's not going to work. Have no fear. I can put this right back together. And I'll get it all lined up correctly. And push it back together. This is how forgiving polymer clay is. Hold it. I apologize about the interruption. Some people just don't get it. I live with my ex-husband. We're roommates, and he's 87 or 88, something like that. His memory's terrible, but of course claims that I'm the one with the bad memory. But that's besides the point. I say he has a bad memory because both of my studio doors are closed, and I told him, I always tell him before I'm going to start recording, and I close my doors. And so you would think that that would be a big clue that I'm recording and not to walk in here yapping. Well, and not only did I have those clues, doors closed, I told him I was recording. I was waving my hand like, hush, while I was trying to put my video on pause, my video recording on pause. And anyway, da 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 da. We fight like cats and dogs. We've actually been getting along a little bit better lately. But anyway, okay. Instead of taking the time to put this Humpty Dumpty back together, I'm just going to use the other blue that I already have ready to go and try this again. And you know what? I'm going to get a stiffer blade because that way maybe I can have a little bit easier time keeping the blade straight, and I'll be able to slice down a little easier. So this blade is pretty darn stiff compared to this one. So let me try this again. Now I could do this. Sometimes I do this, where I will go keeping the blade straight and just turn my clay, and I will go around the whole thing, just trying to make a guideline all the way around. And it looks like it turned out pretty darn good. So I don't know if you can see, I have a line going down the side, the bottom. You can't see very good at all, but it's there. And I carry it on around. And I got a little off there, but as I'm slicing, I needed more light. I can look down both sides of my plug as I'm slicing and make sure that I'm keeping the blade on my guidelines, and that usually helps to make a straighter cut. Okay, so far so good. This one looks a little off, but not bad. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that did help. Voila, that was a good cut. Okay, next. I'm thinking I am going to need one up here, but that's not going to leave very much at the top. And I wanted to try to prevent that from happening. I might just have to grin and bear it. I think I'm going to put four veins in this one instead of only 3. Bottom, top. That one looks pretty close together, doesn't it? Okay. Let's see. That's the one I already did. My whole plug is kind of leaning, so that's not helping. I'm not going to do a guideline. I'm just going to wing it. That, I think, turned out pretty good. Not so, that's a little tight right there. It looks better on this side. That's okay. Let me keep going here. I will keep going. Try to keep this as straight as I can again. That looks pretty good. Pretty good. Better than that first one that I did. Now I have one more line, but this is, if you can see, this line is going like that instead of straight. So let me straighten this out. Okay. I better turn it towards me more so I can hopefully keep it a little straighter. Aha. I think this one turned out good. And there's four. There's going to be four veins instead of 3. Okay, now what I'm going to do different this time, like I was saying, I think I was saying the complement of blue is orange on the color wheel. That's the color directly across from it on the wheel. So I'm going to do orange, but I'm going to put yellow in between the orange, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I'm going to try to keep these in order because it's easy to get them mixed up, and that can be a nightmare. So if I just keep everything, if I lay it down like I pull it off, if that makes sense, then that will help. So let's see. Instead of making one of these, I'm going to need 2 of them. Okay, I made that too big. I actually should put this one on this side. It fits better on that side. And this one is smaller, so let me start over. Yeah, I want, oops, the blade's turned upside down. I could have cut myself pretty bad. Okay, let me show you what I mean by 2. Okay, normally, like last time, I only had one piece in between every to, you know, like I would only put one piece of clay in between in the cuts. I'm going to put two in between, and in between that, I'm going to put a yellow. I've done this before, and I really like the way it turned out. Except I need to make this maybe a little bit thinner. Because there's already so much clay, you know, with the orange. I don't need a big old thick piece of yellow in between. I just need a thin piece, just a hint of yellow to add a little spice to the leaf, or a little extra. Add some fun. Oops, that is sticking to my glass. Now, I might have made it too thin, but maybe not. I'm going to leave it, and we'll be able to tell at the end. So I need two more orange pieces. One for there and one for here. Being careful not to get these turned around. Like I said, it can get real confusing if you start turning your pieces, and when you're trying to put it back together, you can have a really hard time. So this one goes back up like that. And I do need a yellow. So these pieces are adding a lot of clay to the leaf, which means I'm going to end up with a much bigger leaf than, oh, now see what I did? I think I turned this, shoot. Ay. Oh dear. Does it go like that? No, that's the bottom. Oh dear. That is the bottom. Let me get a piece of yellow on here. A piece of yellow. I did exactly what I said not to do. Be a little bit more careful. Yeah, I should have left the yellow a little bit thicker. It's awfully thin. So you know what? I might have this one turned around. And I think I do. Yeah, I did. I did. Look at, there's a lot of clay in between these pieces, and there's 4 cuts instead of 3. This is really gonna be a lot bigger than I had planned. It's lucky I cut that blue plug in half. I would have so much of this cane. I wouldn't know what to do with it all. Get another yellow piece. The yellow, I made it so thin, it is sticking together. Trying to make sure I stay in camera range. I don't have my computer on my desk, so I have to turn my head to look to make sure I'm in camera range. And that throws me off, but all's well that ends well, right? Right. Okay. Last one. Okie dokie. Yeah, this is a long oval. What do we start out with? A circle? This is a very long oval, but we'll take care of that when we reduce. Now, orange, orange, orange. Remember that knock knock joke when you were a kid? Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Orange, you glad I didn't say? No. Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Orange, you glad I didn't say? Oh, I forgot it. Isn't that terrible? I'm terrible at remembering jokes. Aren't you glad I didn't say knock knock again? I don't remember how it goes. Oh, that was terrible. I do that a lot when I'm trying to tell a joke. I forget the joke. And I start telling it before I process it out in my head and make sure that I remember every part of it. I just start in, and then what just happened happens. Okay, see, now polymer clay is very forgiving. I just need to add a little piece of yellow right there. You can patchwork your way through a lot of this if you need to. Because it's going to get reduced, so it's all going to smush together anyway, right? And I did turn this, so which one's the bottom and which one's the top? To go like that. It probably doesn't much matter. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm going to take a drink of water. Boy, sometimes water tastes so good, doesn't it? I might have this upside down again. I should have tried it the other way before I I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Trying to measure up the blue, the light blue to the light blue, and none of them look like they fit. Weird, 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 weird. Okay. I'm just going to leave it. It really won't matter in the end. Okay, now we do need to put the stem going down the middle. So I'm just going to squeeze this together a little bit and try to make it a little more round. Which isn't going to happen really that much. So, okay. So now I need to cut this on an angle. I hope it works using a rectangle instead of a circle. We will see, right? All righty. Oh, I should use a stiffer blade. That was getting a little wonky because the clay's pretty soft. Yeah. Okay. Try to keep it as straight as I can. Well, that's a lot of clay to cut through. Okay. And remember, we are going to turn this upside down. And voila. That's what we're going to have. Looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. So, I still didn't leave very much space at the top right there, but that's okay. Now, do we want the center stem to be the yellow and orange like the other? Try to get a little dog hair or something off of there. Do we want the same yellow and orange, or to put kind of a brownish? I have a kind of a brownish orange. Just a minute, I'm trying to bring it over to show you. I have kind of a brownish orange, but I don't think that orange matches too well with the other oranges. I think I'll just keep it the same, just to keep things simple and halfway in order. So I need to, I'm separating the yellow from the orange because I need to run this through the pasta machine, and hopefully I have enough for, oh, I might not have enough for, I might not have enough orange to cover both sides of the main stem. Oh wow, I got this all stuck together too. And I mixed this orange. It's an orange not straight out of the package. I mixed several scraps together. So I would never be able to, oh look, I just really messed this up. Oh my gosh, the yellow stuck to the orange. Okay, hold up. I made that way too thin. Okay, I'm gonna have to use, I'll save that to use in for bead to cover some if I want to make beads to match this, I'm gonna need some yellow and orange like this, real thin, to cover some gray scrap clay, right? So I'll just leave that pile over there. I have plenty of yellow over there, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough orange. Let me put it through the machine a couple of times. Um, I don't think I'm going to have enough. I really don't think I'm going to, well, maybe. But remember, I need to make it. There's no way that's going to be enough, is it? Oh, shoot. You know what? If there's a will, there's a way, right? Okay, I have this rolled out so thin. I'm going to try to salvage something out of this. If I keep. That's not gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab some more orange. I'll be right back. Okay, what I did was I got some orange, and it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough. I mean, no one is going to notice the very slight difference. So I went ahead and I staged this one, making it thicker at the bottom and thinner as I went up. Might be able to see it a little bit better right there. And then I put the orange on the other side. And now I'm going to put them together. And now it's ready for, I need to put a wrap around it. Right? And I'm trying to think of what color I want to wrap this in. Something looks funny to me. The blues are so, the light blues are so funny looking. I mean, look at that compared to that. I don't get it. That's weird. Oh well. Oh well. Everything's a little off, a little askew. It's going to turn out beautiful though. So what color do I want to wrap this in? A different shade of blue, maybe. That shade of blue. That might be okay. I don't think I don't want purple, do I? Purple. That would be really funky, wouldn't it? I don't know about that. Probably any of these would look okay. Green, 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 green. Green might be nice too. Oh my goodness, I just can't decide. Let me see, I have pink. I have pink. No, I don't like the pink. I do not like the pink. I'm kind of leaning towards the purple. That would be really wild, wouldn't it? Wow. I don't know. I want that, or do I want the blue? It's already pretty funky with the orange and the yellow, isn't it? I really can't decide. I'm looking at it on camera now on my computer screen, and I think I'll stick to the blue. The blue, stay a little conservative. So I need to make this into a strip long enough to go all the way around. That's a lot of clay. Is that too thick? I think I'm going to make it a little thinner. I don't think I need that much. Okay, I'm going to put a registration mark along here. So I think I'll stick with the orange. This isn't very thick. Okay, so buttons, registration mark can go right here. And then I can wrap. Let me get the rough sides gone. And right, that should be plenty. And always when I pull it up, it's a little wonky. You start at the registration mark, and I'm just going to carry it around. wrapping it. I'm glad I stuck with the blue. It's not near as wild and crazy as the purple would have been. Okay. Now, I may have to put a little patch right there. I would rather have a little extra clay than not enough, if you know what I mean. So, okay. And that takes care of that. Now, all I have to do is reduce this. So, I'm going to start in the middle. I'm probably going to end up making this back into a circle or close to it. Last time, this one ended up in a square. It doesn't really matter what you end up with as long as you get it reduced. Squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull. It looks like I might need a little bit of clay right there. Probably not, but I'm going to add just a little bit. Making sure, okay. This clay is really soft right now. It's a good time to reduce it because the middle maybe won't be as slow moving as it is when the clay sits for a while and cools down after working with it. You know, the middle doesn't move near as fast as the outside of the clay, of course. It just makes sense, right? But if you try to reduce while it's still warm after, you know, you've been working with it for a few minutes, like I have, then hopefully you don't end up with as much distortion on the ends. But as you saw with this one, that's not always the case. Just have to do the best you can. And like I said, normally I wouldn't have cut this in half. You know, like when I started, I cut my plug in half. Can you imagine having twice as much? Let me look at the size difference. Once I got all of the veins laid in it, you know. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I didn't stack the the main stem with extra orange at the bottom. I did on this side, but not that side. So it's going to be a little off. But you know what? That's okay. It's too late to do anything about that now. It will end up fine. But yeah, if I would have cut this plug in half, I would have ended up with twice as much of this. And this is a big chunk of clay. So I'm going to go off screen and reduce this and not make you suffer through the process. Like I said, reducing, if you're watching someone reduce, it's like watching paint dry, in my opinion. You know, I don't want to totally bore you. Okay, I got this one down to about the size of a roll of quarters on that end, and I kept going on this end. This is getting down to about, oh, dime size maybe. And I always leave one end bigger and take the other end down as small as I want. Because like I said, I never know what I'm going to use it for, and need to cut the end. End got distorted a lot. Oh, this is not good. Look at that. Way too wonky, huh? Well, what happened to this one? I don't know. I thought it looked funny. Remember I said the light blue looked funny? That is just really strange. I've never had this happen. And it doesn't look like it's getting much better. That is wild. Just wild. I think if I take it down far enough, it will be okay. I think I did have this happen one time, a long time ago. And I don't know how that got so crazy. Just have to be a little bit more. My registration mark looks pretty straight. That means everything else should be okay. I wonder if maybe this end, it's wonky tonk too. Look at that. Crazy, crazy. Like I said, once I bring this down real small, I don't think it will matter. And even when I shape it like that, that looks a lot better than it did just a minute ago. So, okay, I am going to continue on with these two. And this video is already an hour and 12 minutes. So I am going to stop and make a part 2. And I'll come back with these finished, and then we will make something, make jewelry. So we'll make some beads. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And some earrings, maybe. And I don't know. We'll see. So thank you so much for being here. And you have a great evening or the rest of your day, whatever part of the world you're in. And I will see you real soon. Bye now.